Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. We're just going to give a couple more minutes and then we'll get started. All right, well, thank you everyone for joining on our webinar today. Before we get started, just a couple of quick housekeeping rules. So if you have any questions during this webinar, feel free to look on the right side of the panel. You'll see a question mark. You can use that to ask questions. We have some great experts on the line in the background who will be able to answer those questions. And then we'll have a brief Q&A at the end of the call as well. And also feel free to use the chat just to say hello and ask questions there as well. But if you have Q&A, just use the question mark if you can. All right, so today we have a few topics that we'll dive into. We'll do some quick introductions, talk about some common challenges with data quality, how Dataiku fits into that. And then the most important part, we're going to get into a demo of all the great features in Dataiku for data quality. And then we'll talk about some general benefits with both Aimpoint Digital and Dataiku, as well as some good customer stories. And of course, at the end, we'll have some time for Q&A if you have any questions. So I'm joining you today. My name is Lauren Anderson. I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager at Dataiku. So I help kind of tell the story of our product and our great data quality features that we'll be walking through today. And I'm joined by Ben, Ben, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thanks, Lauren. Hi, everyone. So my name is Ben Gardner-Moss. I am a Principal Analytics Consultant at Aimpoint Digital, where I support our clients with a wide range of organizations and help them unlock the full potential of their data. My primary role is guiding clients through complex data landscapes and implementing cutting-edge solutions through platforms like Dataiku to drive impactful business outcomes. Lauren, can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So for anyone who's not necessarily familiar with Aimpoint Digital, we are a leading data and analytics consulting firm dedicated to helping organizations harness the power of their data to drive impactful business outcomes. We as a company pride ourselves on our team of experienced data scientists, engineers, and consultants who specialize in providing tailored solutions to address complex data challenges. At Aimpoint Digital, we cover the full spectrum of the data lifecycle. Our services range from data strategy and governance to advanced analytics and machine learning. We work closely with our clients to ensure their data is accurate, complete, consistent, timely, and valid. Our success is also driven by strong partnerships with technologies such as Dataiku. These partnerships allow us to deliver high quality, scalable, and innovative data solutions tailored to meet the unique needs of each organization. So today, Lauren and I will walk you through some insights and practical approaches to achieving and maintaining high levels of data quality using the Dataiku platform. So whether you're a data professional, business leader, or someone interested in improving your data practices, we hope you're in for a valuable session. So I'm now going to hand back to Lauren.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Ben. I hope so too. And so for those of you that aren't as familiar with Dataiku, I think most of you probably are to some degree. But Dataiku, I'll talk a little bit about just kind of what we do. So essentially, you have all these data sources that you're using to build your analytics, AI, and generative AI projects. And what we do is we take that data wherever it lives, whether that's in the cloud database like Snowflake or it's a flat file somewhere. We can bring that together in a central workbench where everyone from your data analyst to your data scientist can use everything from no to full code throughout the full end-to-end development cycle for your data products. So from design to production and orchestration. And we do all that on an adaptive infrastructure. So with deployment wherever you'd like it, where you can push down compute into your databases, and where you have access to all the latest generative AI foundation models to build your solutions. And this allows you to, once you've developed that, you can easily share it with your business through built-in applications and visualizations, or connecting to your favorite BI platforms, and also, out towards your applications through our robust API capabilities. And finally, all this is done with oversight, with security, and ensuring that you're complying with, the right governance processes for your IT teams as well. So when we talk about data quality within Dataiku, just like Dataiku is sort of this end-to-end platform from the process of development to the process of production, that's how we view, where we put data quality. We embed data quality throughout that process, from when you're discovering your data and exploring it, to when you're preparing your data, and then to when you're productionalizing that data and operationalizing it across the board. We ensure that you have data quality built throughout that process. And this is across all of your data products, from analytics to ML to generative AI. And Ben, I'll let you talk through some of our common challenges we have with data quality.
Thanks. So when you do some research on data quality challenges, one of the first things that you'll see are these kind of 5 common buckets for data quality challenges. So accuracy, completeness, consistency, timeliness, and validity. What I'm going to do is provide an example of each of these items. So when we talk about accuracy, one example is in the retail industry. So the retail industry relies heavily on accurate inventory to manage their product catalogs. If a system is inaccurately recording the levels of stock of certain items, what it can result in is overselling, which itself then results in potential loss of trust in your platform. In regards to completeness, so if you take a financial services company, for example, they require complete customer data for effective risk assessments and compliance with regulatory standards. So if a customer's profile lacks critical information, such as income details or their transaction history, the company may not accurately assess their creditworthiness. Another example might be taken in the demo that Lauren and I are about to deliver in regards to customer churn. If your customer profiles aren't complete, then you might incorrectly label an individual as more likely to churn when they might actually not be. Just in regards to the other 3 points, so consistency, if you take the telecoms industry as an example, they are maintaining customer data across many different systems, so billing, customer service, and network management. If there are inconsistencies, then that can lead to, for example, marketing campaigns going to the same individual multiple times, again, ultimately harming and reducing an individual's satisfaction with your organization. For timeliness, the obvious one to talk about there is in logistics, where timing is quite critical. So timely data is crucial for tracking shipments and managing delivery schedules. Delays in updating the status of packages can lead to incorrect delivery estimates, again affecting customer satisfaction. And finally, in regards to validity, I often think like this is maybe the hardest one to understand just by looking at the label. But one example would be in the healthcare sector, where companies must ensure that patient records adhere to very specific formats and standards. and that if any of that patient data, such as birth dates or medical codes, do not meet those validity requirements, then ultimately that can compromise patient care because they may end up being incorrectly diagnosed with a condition. So they're the 5 common data quality challenges that we kind of see within businesses. And Lauren and I will now walk through a hands-on demonstration illustrating how Dataiku allows you to overcome or visualize some of those challenges within your data. Lauren, if you're speaking, I think you might be on mute.
Thank you. Yeah, so as we walk through this demo, I think I just want to reiterate the fact that data quality has a huge impact on what you're delivering to the business, right? So any challenges with your data quality are going to impact those business results and ultimately your trust, the trust they have in you and the data. So in this example, for those of you familiar with Dataiku, this is our standard flow. And we can see a combination of our data sets and our recipes, our data transformations, and we have a couple of ML models going on here. So what's happening is we have our customer data, existing data. We're doing some preparation. We're then segmenting that data. And then we have our train data and our test data. And ultimately, we're predicting the likelihood of our new customers to churn. And then we're using that to figure out potential revenue loss. So in this example, this might be like a one-time analysis. This could be, potentially something that's a monthly or quarterly report, or this could be feeding some kind of a dashboard for the business that they see and are looking at every single day. So when we think about, what might happen during this process, so for example, maybe a huge customer leaves, and that could impact, potentially our end results and our scoring here. Or maybe suddenly we're getting a lot of null values in our data, and that's causing an error at the end, maybe potentially breaking a chart that we have for the business. And usually what that looks like is somebody comes to you after it's been broken down for a few days, and they say, hey, like this isn't working. Can you fix it? You have to do this huge scramble to get it to work. Or potentially they don't say anything and they just stop using your work, which, I don't know which is worse, but these are potential outcomes. So what we want to do is be able to understand data quality as we're building the solution, and then kind of once it's out in the wild, to be able to get alerted to issues, as they come up so we can respond proactively. And so in this case, what I'll start by showing you is our new data quality rules feature. And to do that, I'm going to go into this data set. And we'll see at the top, I have this data quality section. So for those of you that might be users of Dataiku, this is kind of replacing our checks on our data sets. And so we can see in this section of our data set, we have this section where I have a data quality rule that I've set up. And I can see, visually, what's my current status breakdown. I'm getting an OK, so that's great. Love that. And let's go into my rules just to show you what this looks like. So in this case, I'm searching for empty values. And you can see I'm selecting this column, but I can also select multiple columns or even all of my columns. And once I've selected those columns, I can choose different thresholds. So you'll see I have lots of customization ability here. And I can run a test. So if I'm doing maybe some initial exploration, I can set this rule up real quick, and I see, okay, there's a value returned here. Let me check that out. Okay, this has got empty values. So I know that's something I can kind of go back and do some work on. Let's go back and just do here. And you can see, same thing, I can run a test, and I get it all good, which, again, we love that. So when I'm adding new rules, you can see I can add multiple rules to my data set, and I can easily search based on if it's a column statistic, a value. I can use the search function here, or I can even do custom metrics. So if I want to code something in Python that's completely custom, I have the ability to do that. But in this case, let's go to a column minimum and range. And you'll see I have a softmin and softmax here. So we saw I got an error and I got an OK. I can also do a warning. So if I do like a softmin here, I'll get a warning message. So this means that, you know, if I have anything that's kind of downstream reacting to a error message, instead of stopping whatever flow I have going on, I can just, you know, create a warning so things kind of go but I can get alerted. And so you'll see here, speaking of getting alerted, I'm going to walk into that to show you that. But we'll see this hasn't been computed yet. So I can do that manually. I compute them all, or I can also set up a scenario to do this automatically. So if I walk into my scenarios, for those of you that aren't familiar with scenarios, this is our automation feature within Dataiku, where I can automate lots of different stuff. I'm only going to show kind of automating our data quality rule validation here, but you can do everything from, you know, if you have a machine learning model that's, you know, has some data drift, you can automatically retrain the model. You can, you know, automatically build your data pipelines. You do lots of cool stuff with scenarios. But in this case, I just want to set up something to automatically validate my data quality rules. And you'll see I can do a trigger here. I can do, for example, I have a time-based trigger here, but I can set it up on lots of different metrics or even do a custom trigger. I just want to do this every day. So that means that this rule is running every day. And then I can also get a notification if something happens. So if, like, for example, this check fails and something's going on that is outside the bounds or is returning an error from my data quality rules, I can be notified proactively so that I can go in and kind of fix whatever is going on. So we'll see here, I can easily just set up a step to check all of my data sets, and we'll run that here. All right, and it looks like I'm getting a warning. So if I go back into my data set, I can see that that's run through my scenario, so it's done automatically, and I'm receiving back a warning, which is sort of what we expected from what I set up. And you can see also within this view, I get a timeline breakdown. So here, you know, I initially set this up on Tuesday. I can see, oh, I got a warning here, and then I got an error here. So I can click into the day to do exploration, to do, you know, some post-mortem analysis on, you know, potentially what might have happened throughout the week and where my error started. So with this, I'm showing you this view at the data set level. But let's say I don't want to have to go directly into the data set. I just want a quick view of my project and kind of what's going on across the board. Well, I can do that easily with my data quality view. And you can see I have visual indicators of my data quality status. So all green is great. And then I'm receiving a warning. So I can easily go in here and do some deeper analysis. And I can even do recompute all of my rules for this data set directly from the flow. So this is just now, it's returning an issue, or the same issue. So I can, again, see my current status regardless of, you know, when it is with my automation, or, you know, when it is regardless of, like, the last time it's been run. I can even edit directly from the flow as well. So this is a great view for you if you want to just get a quick overview of your status for the project. But there are other ways that you can see kind of different levels of data quality rules views, you know, throughout the project and even instance level. So one additional project level view is here. I can see I have a project level breakdown of all the data sets that I have data quality rules set up on. So I can see kind of at the project level. But I can also see for maybe if I'm like an IT operator, or I have, you know, admin access, I have a lot of projects going on across my instance, I can see that at an instance level view. So if I click here into data quality, I'll be brought to this view. So I can, it's sort of like a, you know, Russian doll sort of nesting where I can see at the instance level, oh, there's an issue with this project. So then I can click into it and like go deeper into the data set as I want to do some exploration. One other way that I can see my status is through our data catalog. So the data catalog, if you're not familiar, is another great tool for data quality. So if I have a trusted data set that I know, I want the different teams to reuse, or I want to reuse in the future, I can publish it to the data catalog. So this becomes my repository of trusted data. And within this data, you can build these collections. So for example, here I have a customer data collection, and I have this view of this data quality. So I can even further validate and trust that my data is, has highest quality. Or, if I do see issues, again, I can do some exploration before I use it in my project. All right, so these are just some features available today for data quality rules. Again, you can see, so regardless of whether I'm, building my project and, exploring data sets at the data set level, or looking as an operator from just a holistic view across all of my projects within an instance, or just exploring data in the data catalog, I can get a full view and a handle on my data quality throughout the whole process. And now I'm actually going to show you a quick preview of some things that are going to be coming in our next release. So I showed you, you can add multiple rules. So now in what you'll soon be able to do is add templates. So here, for example, I've set up a bundle of rules, and this is my template that I can easily apply to multiple data sets, and then I can easily save as template. And then today you also have the ability to copy paste, but now you'll soon be able to save these as templates. And then finally, for those of you that work on, machine learning projects or other things where you're deploying it into different places, either through, batch deployments or real-time API services, you might be familiar that we recently have this unified monitoring dashboard where you can see all of your deployments in one single view. Well, soon you'll be able to have, as well as your sort of deployment status, your data status. So you can kind of bring in that view of your data quality into this holistic view of status across the board for everything you have in production. So this gives you that single view, so you can be, rest assured that you have kind of trust and validation of your data quality for everything that's going out to the business. All right, so that was an overview of our data quality rules, and now I'm going to hand it back over to Ben to demo some of our other features.
Thank you, Lauren. And I really enjoyed the Russian doll reference, which I'm going to steal for any webinars I do in the future.
Love it.
Let me just share my screen. Okay. Perfect. So on the screen in front of me, I've got the same kind of workflow that Lauren was working through. But as she alluded to, I'm just going to showcase a few more areas of the product where concepts around data quality have been embedded in order to, I guess, help you derive insights or identify potential problems within your data. So I'm going to start on the data set view. So at the start of our workflow, we have this customer's data set. Now, typically when you build a flow, it's most likely that your largest data quality issues are going to be at the start of your process because you've ingested some file from within the business or some data set that you might not necessarily be too familiar with. So I'm just going to dive into this customer's data set and bring up the explore view. And the first kind of thing that you will likely notice whenever you navigate to this view is some things are highlighted in red, some things are highlighted in gray, and some things are highlighted in green. So I just want to talk about what each of those things is kind of indicating, and surprise, surprise, it's associated with the quality of data contained within those fields. So let's just take the green bar beneath our account length field. So you'll notice that this green bar is basically a 100% stacked bar chart. So you'll see that the bar is completely green. So that is indicating to us that Dataiku perceives there to be no obvious data quality issues within the account length field. Obvious being the key word, because obviously it doesn't necessarily understand all of the rules that may exist within your business. However, besides that, to the left, you may notice that in our state field, the whole bar is not green in this case. A portion of the bar is green, but a smaller portion of the bar is red. So what that is indicating is that there are values within our state field which aren't conforming to the meaning that we have outlined for this field, which is US state. So that's the first kind of indication that there's a problem. But the next question is, okay, you've told me there's a problem. How do I actually go and look at those records? So this is a really neat feature. If I click on my state field, I can then go to the filter button, and then I can filter to those records which are not okay or NOK. So you'll see around 14% of our fields seem to have some sort of data quality issue. If I go into that and select that filter, you'll notice that some of our states have a prefix of US dash. So that's one data quality challenge that we immediately need to resolve in order to bring consistency to the data that we're delivering to the business. It's no use half of the states being in one format and the other half being in another format. So that's kind of one thing that we need to resolve. Going to move on to the other issue, which is those kind of ones that are grey. So we have two fields, international plan and VMail or voicemail plan. And you'll see that the grey bar is probably immediately obvious to you what that's indicating, but it's giving us an indication that there are some empty cells within our file. What you might also see is that there only appears to be the value yes. So by understanding my business and understanding the contents of this challenge, what I can assume and what I know is that actually those international plan and voicemail plan fields, when the value is empty, they should in fact be no, because that plan has kind of not been selected, which is why there's no record. So what we need to do there is apply some sort of data transformation rule to convert those empty values into no's, and we want to leave the yeses kind of as is. So that's some initial insight that you can get kind of immediately without having to fiddle with your view at all. But there are some other quite valuable areas or resources within this Explore window to derive some insights around data quality. The first one of those that I'm going to talk about is this button in the top right here. It's got a picture of a little chart. If you pop that open, or if you select that button, or if for the moment, if I just hover over it, you'll see that it says quick column stats. So if I click quick column stats, what's going to happen is it's going to pop open a window on the right side. We get that same kind of data quality bar that we saw previously, but in addition, we now have some context about the distribution of the data within those fields. So, for example, if I scroll down to some of my numeric fields, what I can do is I can use these profiles to understand if I think that distribution is representative of my business. Now, again, something that I might not have is that business context as to whether that is a normal distribution. So what I could do is use another Dataiku feature, which is comments or discussions, and I could tag someone in to ask them that question. Does the profile of this field match what we're expecting? So that's another kind of quick feature that you can make use of there. Now, just scrolling back to this view, if I scroll up, what I might see is this phone number field, which I know should be distinct, has some cases where the phone number is not distinct. So I'll see that I can see that the values are there at one point and the values are here at another point, and this is a count of records. So I can see that the count of records is not consistent, and if it is not consistent, then I know that at least some of them are definitely not one. I believe if I hover over it, I can see in the bottom right hand corner as I hover that these represent 2, and if I scroll all the way across, these represent 1. So I have some duplicate issues within my data set as well. Now, if I wanted to understand that challenge in a bit more detail, what I could use is or do is make use of the final function that I'm going to show you in this Explore window, which is the Analyze capability. So if I go and again select my phone field, we have the window pop up. I can then select Analyze. And what this is going to do is it's going to give me a bit more of a granular insight to that column. So rather than that like super high level view, which initially gave me the knowledge that there was a problem, this is going to give me the detail on the problem. So I can understand, for example, which of my phone numbers seem to be duplicates, given they're supposed to kind of be my unique key in this data set. What you'll also notice on the right side is we get some indications around the true percentages or true volume of the problem as well. So whilst there is 0% instances of issues, if I scroll down, I can see when this converts from 0 to 1, I can see that there's a cumulative challenge of around 2% of my records that are or seem to be duplicated. So they're the kind of problems that we're going to resolve, and I'm not necessarily going to go into the step-by-step on how we're going to resolve them, but I do just want to point out how easy that is within Dataiku. So if I just go to my flow view, first things first, I've got a prepare recipe on my or in my flow where I've converted or replaced the US dash in my state field with nothing, which means that my state fields are now consistent. And again, I get the data quality bars here indicating that everything now seems to be okay. And then on my Boolean fields, what I've done is I've filled empty cells with the value no. And I've used that neat feature within Dataiku where I can easily select and apply a function against multiple fields rather than having to apply the step over and over again. So that's resolved 2 of the 3 data quality challenges that I alluded to. And then that third one around duplicates within our data, well, that one's simple. There is a distinct recipe within the Dataiku platform that really easily allows you to remove any duplicate rows that may exist. That's that tool just here on my canvas. So I've talked about the Explore view. What I want to do now is I'm going to go and look at some further functionality associated with charts and dashboards. So again, going to this data set, we've looked at this Explore view. Lauren showed you the data quality view, but there is another view within here that can be quite useful for investigating data quality issues, which is this charts view. So just popping that open, we have a pre-built chart on this data set, which kind of feels like it's indicating to me that we might have a data quality issue within our voicemail field or voicemail message field. So I can see that I have a whole load of records where customers don't seem to be using the voicemail feature. So that's giving me some inkling that there might be a problem. But what I can also do within Dataiku is I can adapt these charts with additional context. Let me just resolve that issue very quickly, because if I run out of charge, that'd be annoying. Right. I've done that, sorry. So I can layer on additional context within my charts. For example, does that user have a voicemail plan? So if I bring this on, I can now see that no is represented by the dark blue. And actually, all of the instances where there is no use of the voicemail message feature is only users that don't have a voicemail plan. So whilst I thought there might have been an issue initially, the charting capability and the ability to add and layer on additional context has actually proven in this case that that is not, in fact, an issue that needs to be resolved. So that's what I kind of perceive as a direct example of building a chart to potentially analyze some data quality issues. But there can also be cases where you can identify challenges indirectly through your dashboards and reports. Now, this will happen in almost all businesses and reports that you might build as a data analyst. But when you show something to a business leader, because they have the kind of knowledge and the experience working across the business, working quite deeply with all of the different business functions, they'll know quite quickly whether an insight in that report you've delivered is accurate or whether it's probably actually the result of a data quality challenge. And I refer to that as like an indirect route to understanding data quality issues that may exist. So within Dataiku, you can also build those dashboards for your users. So I'm just going to pop up a dashboard that we've got here called Descriptive Statistics on the customers. So I've got various different views designed to give me a bit of an understanding about my customers. And this wasn't designed for in any way to give me an understanding of data quality. However, as a business leader, my eye is going to be immediately drawn to the idea that we have apparently such a low customer base in California when I know that isn't true. So I'm using my knowledge of the business to validate that number, and I'm validating that number as invalid. So what I would then do is I can go back to the individual who has developed this report. Again, I could either communicate directly to that user via the messaging channels that exist within the business, or Teams or email. But I could also, again, pop up this discussions feature and ask the user to investigate why it seems some of our California customers are missing from this data set. So that's kind of everything that I wanted to walk through. The one kind of final thing that I'd layer into to link to Lauren's example is when she set up a scenario. Something that you can do really easily is you can set up those email alerts, and those email alerts can include, for example, PDFs of your dashboard. So you can almost take these reports that you're generating, not only distribute them to your customers, but also distribute them to yourselves as a potential opportunity to, again, spot data quality challenges that may exist within your data. So I'm going to hand back now to Lauren and give her slides.
Awesome. Yeah, I think just reiterating, I think the fact that, you have the ability to explore your data in all these different ways and, really understand data quality through charts, through dashboards, and then involve the business in that process all through the same tool. I think, that's really, really powerful capability. So let's get back to our customer story. So Ben, I'll let you go over this one.
Cool, thank you. So yeah, we just wanted to showcase like a real world example of how data quality can or using Dataiku in tandem with assessing data quality can positively impact a business. So this was an example from a pharmaceutical client of Aimpoint Digitals. It was kind of like a project delivery. So we had a small team of us working with this customer in order to deliver a solution. Specifically, the purpose of the solution was to do an inventory reconciliation, which itself is kind of a, if we refer back to that kind of those 5 key data challenges that we outlined at the start, the idea of reconciling stock was one of those key representative examples that we gave. So that itself, the challenge is kind of a data quality one. So what we did is we leveraged Dataiku to replace a manual process for inventory reconciliation. We leveraged some of Dataiku's data quality features to identify common issues. So some examples from that: incorrect input schemas and mismatched joins being the key ones, but also as we could use the data quality feature to monitor the row count as it flowed through the process to understand if the transformations were working as we might expect as well. Ultimately, the benefits of this were improved auditability. I can never say that word very well. Consistency and confidence in the solution. And it also led to a much more expedited process compared to the manual process they were using previously. So the solution now runs in 12 minutes, which was a significant improvement to that client, whereas the manual process previously was a multi-day effort. So in total, Aimpoint's partnership with Dataiku helped this client save around 300 hours per month of FTE just by doing some very simple or applying some very simple automation and data quality capabilities into a previously manual process. The final kind of slide that we have in or that I have to talk through is around additional ways in which Aimpoint support their clients. So the one that I referenced there was this middle one, which was around use case solutioning. So going out and helping our clients with boots on the ground. But there's also lots of other ways in which Aimpoint can help you, Dataiku's customers, derive value from the platform. So whether that be through training, user coaching, office hours, assessing the kind of data strategy that your business might have, or actually leaning into that AI, ML space when as your business starts to do more advanced machine learning or solving more advanced data analytics problems. So thank you for taking the time to join me for that brief, and I'll hand back to Lauren just to close off the session.
Great, yeah, and thanks everyone so much for joining today. We really appreciate your time and attention. And actually now we're just going to go ahead and stop sharing and we'll open it up for a live Q&A.
Thank you both, Lauren and Ben, for the really engaging session. We do have a couple questions in the Q&A, so I'm going to read out the first one for you. Question from Frederick. Is there an easy way to copy data sets or column names from the Explore view or really anywhere?
I guess I could probably take that question, though it depends where you're looking to copy it to. But ultimately, within the Explore view, there is an export capability. So if you're talking about copying it from the Dataiku platform into something like Excel, so you can do some analysis outside of the platform, then there is actually an export button. I think that's the comment that I would have there, but maybe some additional context would be needed as to where you're looking to copy that data to.
Perfect. And then our next question is, where can the audience find some more information to expand their learning on data quality?
Yeah, well, I think for Dataiku, we have a lot of really great resources. If you go just search data quality Dataiku, you can find a great webpage where you'll find some links to different videos. We also have a lot of great blogs out there on our, if you search through our blogs and search for data quality, you'll find some great resources. in addition to all of our great training resources, and then our knowledge center. You'll be able to find more. So definitely encourage you to just look through everything that we have on our website.
Awesome. And then we have one more question in the chat. Is there an AI recipe that I can program to measure data quality?
An AI recipe. I guess what you could do, you have the ability to create a custom Python check. So potentially, you could use that to do some customization. If, I'm not really sure what you're looking to do specifically, but, that could be an avenue if you want to do something custom that you didn't see is available, within the data quality rules you can set up automatically.
And then I see here we have one more question come in. So having seen some ML in the flow, I wondered if you have experimented to improve data quality with machine learning, like completing data.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, Jean-Guillaume, if you have any thoughts on that or want to address that from our expert in the background. But yeah, maybe we can.
We'll see if he comes off mute. But the one thing that immediately springs to mind, and this is already built into the product, is Dataiku's ability to merge values together. So within a prepare recipe, and also within a join recipe, you have the capability to merge similarly named items. So specifically, that's that problem where you have categorical labels that should probably be considered the same, but because of a slight misspelling or something like that, they're not necessarily being merged together. So that capability does already exist within the platform today.
Fantastic. And I do think we have one more, a little time to answer one more question here. So a question about how would you compare two data sets to check data quality?
I'll just go on to, so when Lauren demonstrated the data quality capabilities, there is that historical view, so you can see how the quality within your data set is changing over time. So obviously there you have the ability to see what the data quality was like on your previous data set and what it's like now. And assuming you set up all of the rules on the different things that you're looking to check, then you should be able to tell that story very quickly if it's changing in a positive or negative direction from a data quality perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, you could utilize scenarios to get notified of, potentially if there is a change that you're interested in drilling in on specifically, you could set up a notification for that particular role.
Fantastic. So that's all for our audience questions. So thank you both so much again, Lauren and Ben, for the really engaging session. For the audience, the recording will be made available right after, but thank you both again for the session.
Yeah, thanks you everyone, and have a great day.
Thanks, bye.